Hi everyone, my name is Medwife Sally, and today we are going to talk about the rising escalation that is happening now in the Middle East. Yes, a lot of wars, a lot of problems, and this has caused a lot of countries in the Middle East to close their airspace. Yes, so the first thing is, what is an airspace? So it simply refers to the sky that is above a particular country, over their lands, over their waters, and that is under their control. Okay, so their aviation controls the space in the air, okay, or in, yes, above the sky, every space above the sky that is being controlled by a particular country, that is their airspace. Yes, and why are they closing this airspace? Why are countries closing their airspace? This is due to the rising tensions in the Middle East. The Iran-Israeli war has caused a lot of countries, okay, including Israel itself, Iran itself, and several other countries, for to close their airways, their they close their airspace. And these, why would they close their airspace? Okay, it is to protect people and also for military purposes. Okay, so if there's this fight and then they are not protecting their airspace, and let's say people are still traveling and then there's a missile that is fired into the sky from one country to another, and just imagine the flight is not like you are sitting in a car where you can stop or something. This is the sky. You may not be able to do anything, and it's going to cause loss of lives and loss of property. Okay, and sometimes airspace is closed for military purposes, for a whole lot of things. But usually, in a place where there's war, a lot of countries close their airspace. And so, which countries have closed their airspace, especially in the Middle East as we speak? Okay, so I've talked about Iran has closed their airspace. Israel has a lot of restrictions on their airspace because it is not safe. Yeah, if you try and then a missile or something attacks civilians and other things, it's going to be a lot of problems. And recently, just yesterday, Qatar closed their airspace too. Okay, yes, and Qatar has also closed their airspace. UAE have closed their airspace. Kuwait has closed their airspace. Bahrain, yes, Bahrain, I always find it difficult to mention their name, have closed their airspace. Jordan has also closed their airspace, and then Lebanon, okay, has also closed their airspace. There are still a lot of countries in the Middle East, but if you are following the news and you are following the war, you realize that even the countries that have not closed their airspace, they are actually being very, very careful. Okay, they are very careful. A lot of international flights have a lot of restrictions on people going to particular countries in the Middle East or even the whole of Middle East. Okay, because it is really escalating. This morning it was announced that Israel and Iran have come to an agreement to cease fire. We pray that it works so that things can go back to normal. We want everybody's life, the life of every human being is important. So we pray that these things will go down. Okay, so what this means, it means that people's flights can be cancelled because of the airspace. Because if countries, assuming you are in Kuwait, or and then they say you cannot use your airspace, how do you travel? Okay, so people's flights are going to be cancelled. Some people who are traveling maybe through a particular country would have to pass through another country because you cannot use this particular airspace because of safety reasons. Then it makes sense. So they are going to do what we call rerouting, meaning that they are not going to pass through. In case we were passing through, let's say Kuwait, or we're passing through Qatar. Okay, so if I'm going to Saudi and I have to pass through Qatar, now I cannot pass through Qatar because Qatar has closed its airspace. Okay, they closed their airspace, and so they have to reroute to another place that can get me to Saudi. So that is what the closing of the airspace means. And then people, it means that tickets can be higher. People will take longer to get to where they are supposed to go to, and also for the aviation industry, maybe they may not be getting lots of passengers, which is going to affect their business in one way or the other. But it's better the tensions go down, then they can have like when things calm down, then everybody can go back to their normal routine. Okay, so what should people do? What should people do if you are planning or thinking of going to Middle East? Please exercise caution. Okay, especially to areas that are really fighting now. Okay, and also you should know whether they have opened their airspace or they have not opened their airspace. You should know. You should really talk with the people where you are buying your tickets from, how they are working. You should know the schedules very well, okay, and then you can prepare accordingly. Yes, there are some places that certain countries have banned people from even traveling there because they have said those places are high risk because of the conflict. Yes, so you need to exercise patience. You need to pray that the war ends and then you can go there. Yes, so as I spoke, I haven't mentioned Saudi. Okay, so in my search, I realized that it hasn't come out conclusively like the other countries have said that I'm closing our airspace or we are not closing our airspace. But then there are restrictions, okay, and there are red alerts, okay, um, to their borders in Yemeni because they share border with Yemeni, and Yemeni is also fighting part of the conflict, and so people who are living along the Saudi Yemeni border, there's red alerts. They are not encouraging people to travel or use the airspace around that place. Okay, but apart from that, I haven't heard. I don't have so much news about Saudi airspace, but there's everybody. Once you are in Saudi, everybody, or in the Middle East, you should be alert. There should be, like, everybody should be alert. And one thing that people also say is that do not go to where people are crowded or there are too many people. If you want to go to town, get what you want, come back. Okay, we pray that things and tension comes down so that those who would have to travel would be able to travel and will have a better and a peaceful world. Okay, so this is what I'll say about the airspace closure. Please let me know what you think about it, and we pray that we would have a um, better years to come where the world will be free from war and we can all be at peace. My name is Midwife Sally. Please, if you liked it, subscribe, share. If you have a question, you can also post it under my comment section. Have a beautiful day. Bye.